This video is about working with tables in Word. I'm going to create a table with my office hours in them. So I'm going to go to Insert, Table, and I'm going to want a title row, a row for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and a row that has the actual office hours. And so I'm dragging across on a 5x3 table. Okay, now I want the top row to say office hours, but I want that to stretch all the way across. So I'm going to come out to the selection area. I'm going to click. That's going to select the entire row. And then in the layout, I'm going to choose Merge Cells. Then from the Home button, well, actually I can do that from here. I want to center that within the one remaining cell. Then I'll have Monday, the days of the week. Okay, now I want these to be centered within their constituent cells, so I'm going to again click in the selection area and center. And then let's say that my office hours on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock. Notice I typed 2 dashes and it automatically changed to what we call an N dash, which is a dash that's a width of a letter N. That's normally what you put between numeric ranges. And then now I'm going to click here in the very left of the cell, and that will select the contents of the cell, and I'll copy that, and then I can paste it in each of the cells. And then let's say Tuesday, my office hours are from 1 o'clock to 2:30. And again, I don't need to retype that. I can just select the individual cell and paste. Well, that's a pretty boring looking table, so let me go over to Design. And I can pick different designs, and you see how it changes both the shading, the color, and the borders. I like that one, although it did boldface these, and so I'm going to unbold them. If you want to add a row to a table, all you have to do is press Tab in the last cell of the table, and that will give you a new row. Well, let's suppose now that Averitt decides that it's going to have class on Saturdays, and we're going to have to work on Saturday. So I'm going to go back to the Layout tab, and so I need to add a column for Saturday. And I can do that now. When you hover above a column, you can select the column, but the problem is I have this one cell that reaches all the way across. I'm going to delete that for right now so I can illustrate some other concepts. So let me delete that row. Now I can select a column. I can drag across to select multiple columns. So if I want to add a column, let's say add a column at the end, I can select this column, right click and say Insert, Column to the right. And it automatically formatted these so that they are equal in width. If you do have columns that somehow you've ended up they're unequal in width, and you can change column widths just by dragging the border between the columns, although be careful, because if you just select one cell and drag it, you will only change the width of that one cell. So I'm going to do Control Z to go back to the way it was. But if I select the whole table and right click and say Distribute Columns Evenly, then again they will be proportioned evenly. Another way of adding a column is to draw it in. So from the Design tab under Table Tools, I will pick Draw Table. My mouse cursor then changes to a pencil, and I can draw in additional columns, or if I want to subdivide just one cell, I can draw that in. And then once I turn off Draw Table, then I can manipulate these as I have need to. And again, I can select them all and say distribute them evenly. Now that's kind of a mess, but it illustrates the concepts that we need to know about tables. I'm going to delete this table now that I've messed it up so much, and let me just create a brand new table. Just a very simple one. I'll just put 1, 2, 3, and I'm moving between these cells by pressing the Tab key, and I went backwards by pressing Shift Tab. Okay, so now I have a table with 12 entries, and I can select the table again. I could also select it by selecting the rows. You can check whether you have a header row. That'll be important when you are applying these pre-designs, or whether the first column is special or not. So you can adjust these style parameters here. What I want to do now is I want to convert this table to text, because sometimes you need to work with a table in just its text format. There are applications that I use where I need to have a table that's in a text format, but I create it first in Word because the table tools are so nice, and then I convert it to text. So here under Layout, I'm going to click on Convert to Text, and it asks me what do I want to put between the entries in the table. One popular way of doing this is comma delimited. That's what we call it, and you'll still have a return at the end of the line, or tab delimited. Or as you can see, I've got an ampersand because the program I was talking about likes to have ampersands between the elements of the table. Let's do comma delimited, and now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc., etc. When we get into Excel, we'll see that often information is interchanged between spreadsheets and database applications using comma delimited table text, which can be imported into Excel. If I have information that's in this format, I can go to Insert Table, so I click on this down arrow to see the table menu and say Convert Text to Table. While we're here, we also have the quick tables where you can have a calendar. You have various options for creating built-in tables. I want to convert text to table, and it's going to ask me how many columns does this table have. It has 3. You can adjust that if you've got some missing data, so it will interpret things appropriately. I separate the text between the cells of the table with commas, and so now I have my table back. And that's what I wanted to talk about tables.